when you say, I am loved? When you say, I am amazing? When you say, I am powerful? What's the energy behind those words? How does it make you feel inside of your body? Versus, I am fat. I am dumb. I am unlovable. I'm stupid. I'm ugly. I'm a loser. Which one of those have you said to yourself before? And when you attach yourself to that, how does it make you feel? Today, we're going to be talking about the power of the affirmations that you use, how to create affirmations, and the most powerful words that you can use in the language that you speak. And the most powerful words are probably going to surprise you in some sort of way. In past episodes recently, I talked about the law of attraction. I talked about how to manifest the life that you want. So you can go back and you can listen to those that I put up recently. But part of manifesting the life that you want deals with the words that you use. It's not just about visualizing, that is important, but it's also about the words that you use. The words that you use are spells that you're placing on yourself. And so you've got to be very, very conscious of what it is that you say. And this isn't just like woo-wooey anymore. There are many psychological studies around affirmations. One of the most famous ones was done in 1988 by Claude Steele in the magazine Social Cognition. And there was a paper that was on the concept of self-affirmation. And it was in the context of social psychological theory. And it showed that affirmations helped build and maintain self-integrity. And this is the important thing, by reminding constantly oneself of important personal values and how they want to show up in the world, which impacted their overall well-being, their sense of self, and their self-esteem. So once again, it reminded them of important personal values and how they want to show up in the world. That's what affirmations were used for, and that's what they helped with. There's so much power in the words that we use, and I talk about this in many episodes because I don't really think that people fully get how much of a spell they're placing on themselves by what they say. So there's so much power in the words that we use and what we say, but not just the words that we say, but also the energy behind what it is that we say. And I'm going to give you the most powerful phrase in any language in just a little bit to help you out with it. But I'll give you a quick example of how your words can just shift a little bit of how you feel based off of what you say. Think about the phrase, I have to. Like I hear this all the time. I have to do this. I have to do this. I still catch myself saying it sometimes. And when I do, I try to change it and rephrase it. When you say, I have to do something, how does that feel? Like if we're talking about the energy behind those words, how does it feel in your body to have to do something? What visual or memory does it bring up for you when you think about having to do something? Can you think of a moment in time in your recent past or way back when you were a child of having to do something? What visual pops up in your head? What memory pops up in your head when you think about having to do something? For me, I can tell you exactly what I think of. When I have to do something, the visual it reminds me of is when my mom and I lived in Sarasota, Florida, and I would drag myself miserably through the house slowly to have to go mow the lawn. Because the last thing I never wanted to mow the damn lawn. And we had this big, long lawn, and it would get overgrown because I would go weeks without doing it. And then I would have to push the lawnmower. We didn't have like a riding lawnmower. I had to push the lawnmower. I had to do it. That's what I always think of. That's the feeling that I go back to of having to do something. What about you? Having to do something doesn't bring me into a motivated or inspired energy in my body. I'm not like, ooh, yes, I have to do something. No, I feel like that teenager again that's like, oh man, I just want to sleep on the couch. I don't want to do that. I want to take a nap. You know, that's the way I was when I was a teenager. So what do you think of when you think of that? And what do you think that subconsciously does to you to think that you have to do something? The energy behind that slows you down. It drains you. It lowers your inspiration in some sort of way. Have you ever said, I have to work out? I catch myself doing it all the time. No, you don't have to work out. You choose to work out. I hate when people say I have to do something, and when it could be I choose to do it. Like when you say I have to do something, it makes you a victim in your own life. If you say I choose to work out, that's power, that's choice, that's sovereignty behind those words. Even if it's something you don't necessarily want to do, when you choose to do it, that puts you into a place of being the one that's in control of your own life. And then you can go out and do it. Or someone says like, oh, I don't have enough time. I'm too busy. I'm trying, right? Think about that. It's like, no, you don't try. You either do something or you do not do something. There is no try. And so when you think about the words that you use, it's really important. And if you've ever been on, one of my coaching sessions live that I do on Zoom sometimes, and I'm talking with somebody one-on-one, there's a lot of times, and I don't want to do it to be like an ass, but I'll stop people in the middle of talking and say, okay, hold on. You just said this. What's a better way of saying that? Okay, you just said this. What's a better way of saying that? Because there's so many little tiny shifts that if we just make them in the way that we say things, it takes us out of a place of being a victim and puts us into a place of power in our own lives. And so now let me share with you, and we're going to talk deeply about this, what the most powerful phrase in the entire universe is for you. Okay? The phrase is I am. I am ... It is the most powerful phrase in your language. Translate it to whatever language you speak. I am is the most powerful phrase. The reason why is because it creates, quite literally, what you think of yourself. Quite literally, it creates your identity of who you think you are, what you think is possible, what you think you can do, your beliefs, your fears, your worries, all of it. And so you've got to be very, very conscious of when you say I am and what follows it, because it either opens doors to all of the possibilities for you or it just slams it shut. And most of the time when we use the phrase I am, we're just slamming doors shut so that there's no opportunity, there's no possibility, there's nothing we can create from that. And it creates your identity of what you think of yourself. And your identity shifts the way that you speak, the actions that you take, the results that you have, and the world that you create around you as well. There is no more powerful words than the phrase I am. And if you think about the phrase I am, think about these words and figure out what your most desirable one is for you. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am sexy. I am loving. I am loved. I am healed. Which one's your favorite out of those? And when you hear that, what's the energy that you feel inside of your body when you say, I am loved? When you say, I am amazing? When you say, I am powerful? What's the energy behind those words? How does it make you feel inside of your body? Versus, I am fat. I am dumb. I am unlovable. I'm stupid. I'm ugly. I'm a loser. Which one of those have you said to yourself before? And when you attach yourself to that, how does it make you feel? What's the energy behind those words? How does it feel inside of your body? Now, some of you have a BS meter. Most of you have a BS meter. If you listen to me, you probably have a very high BS meter is what it is. Notice I didn't say, oh, I am rich. I am wealthy. I am confident. Those are stupid because if you're not rich and you're not wealthy, your BS meter is going, no, you've got $5 in your bank account. If you're saying, I am beautiful and you don't believe it, your BS meter is going, no, you're hideous, right? So when you create your affirmation about yourself, when you create what it is you say about yourself, you can't just say, okay, what do I normally say about myself? What's the exact opposite? Okay, I'm going to start saying that and I'm going to brainwash myself into believing it. No, it's not the way that it works. I always say that there's 3 parts to creating a powerful affirmation. I guess you could say 4. The first thing is it has to start with I am. And the second thing is that it needs to be true. Then it needs to be present tense and it needs to be empowering. So it starts with I am, true, present tense, empowering. So instead of saying something like I am rich, where your BS meter is going to just go off, what you're going to say is something like I'm working hard to create more wealth. which one feels more in alignment? Which one feels more true? Which one feels like you line up with it? I am rich, BS meter, ding, 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 ding. No, you're broke as hell. I'm working hard to create more wealth. You know what? I have been working really hard recently. That's actually true. I am working hard to create more wealth. Well, that feels better, right? If you say, I am fit, and then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, nope, you're not. Versus, I'm working hard to create a strong and healthy body. Okay, that feels better, right? I'm working hard to create a strong and healthy body. And you keep saying this over and over and over into yourself. It's kind of like a song that's on repeat in the back of your head. And so you wake up and you say it to yourself over and over and over again. You do a meditation, you say it to yourself over and over and over again. You put it on the background of your phone. You put it, you say it to you before you go to bed every single night. When you're walking around the office, you're going to get coffee, or you're walking to the bathroom in the office. You're saying, I'm working hard to create a strong and healthy mind. I'm working hard to create a strong and healthy mind. I'm working hard to create a strong and healthy mind. Whatever it is you're trying to do, right? Instead of saying, I'm successful, and you're not successful at all, which is what most people, oh yeah, well, even if you're just at home and you're broke, if you're homeless right now and you have nothing and you've never been successful, just sit and say, I'm successful. And naturally you'll start to believe it. And then you'll start taking the actions of a successful person. No, your BS meter is going to just kick that right out. Instead of saying, I'm successful, you'd say something like, I am taking steps to achieve my goals. I'm consistently working harder and taking steps to achieve my goals. That feels a little bit better, doesn't it? Instead of saying, I am confident, when you have no confidence, I'm learning to trust myself and my abilities every day. Or I'm trusting myself and my abilities every day. I'm trusting myself and my abilities. I'm learning to trust myself and my abilities every single day. That feels better, right? If you're sad, if you're depressed, you can't just be like, I am happy. It doesn't work that way. Your BS meter is going to be like, no, you're not. So you would say something like, I'm choosing to focus on gratitude and joy in my daily life. I am choosing to focus on gratitude and joy in my daily life. I am focusing on gratitude and joy in my daily life. If you feel like you don't have a whole lot of love around you, maybe there's a couple people, but you don't feel so loved. Maybe you're in a relationship and you kind of feel like you're distant from that person. Instead of saying, I am loved, and thinking that's going to shift the entire universe, you could say stuff like, I have people who appreciate and support me. Okay, that makes you feel a little bit better, right? It makes you feel a little bit more loved. Your BS meter doesn't go off if you have that. If you feel like you're mentally weak and you're just not as strong as you want to be, instead of saying, I am strong, you'd say stuff like, I'm developing resilience and learning to overcome challenges. I'm developing my resilience and I'm learning to overcome challenges. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just, there's another way of doing it where it doesn't feel like BS, because the way that you speak to yourself matters maybe more than anything else in the entire world. The reason why is because it actually, and I don't like to use the word literally because I feel like everybody's like, literally, there was 500 cops down the road. And you're like, there was not 500 cops down the road. There was 3, right? Literally this, literally, but literally the way that you speak to yourself is the most important thing that happens in your life, because it shapes your entire world. It shapes your entire reality. Every time you declare I am, and I am is a declaration, you are reinforcing an identity. What identity are you reinforcing? You've got to ask yourself that. Now let's take this a little bit deeper. What identity do you want to reinforce? Do you want to be someone who is confident, who is resilient, who is unstoppable, who is successful? Well, then start to speak it. Stop speaking the past. Because if you speak the past of who you've been in the past, guess what your future is going to be? A repeat of the past. You've got to have kind of like a little bit of naivete around yourself to speak what you want into existence versus speaking the past into existence. You have to learn to speak what it is that you want. Do you want to be someone who's confident, who's taking action, who's doing what they need to do? Or do you want to be someone who's stuck, who's unsure, who's full of doubt, who's full of worries, who's full of fears, who's full of anxiety? If you don't want to be that person, stop feeding that narrative. Your subconscious is always listening to you, always absorbing the words that you say about yourself. Words Don't just talk about what's going on in the present moment and talk about what's going on in the future. Your words are actually creating your future in this moment. So you've got to make those words the words that you want. Those words have to be empowering. If you don't feel empowered with the shit that comes out of your mouth, then change what comes out of your mouth. Think about that. I've got a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, I want you to commit to removing all of the disempowering I am statements from your vocabulary. That's what I want you to do. Remove them. Anytime you say something, I am, and it's followed by disempowering, make a note of it. Write it down. I'm not going to say it anymore. And then what you do is you replace them with the affirmations that align with the person that you want to be. Can you do that? The person that you want to be, not who you've been in the past, not who you currently are, but the person that you want to be. And every time you catch yourself saying something negative, pause, stop, reframe it, and then say it again differently with intention versus saying it on autopilot like you have been. Because your words are the greatest weapon that you have to use against yourself or for yourself. So you have to understand, with this weapon, choose wisely the way that you're going to use it. Are you going to use it for the greater good, or are you going to use it to destroy yourself? So that is the power of affirmations and how to use them. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. YouTube thinks based off of everything you've been watching recently, you should watch this video next. And if you want to subscribe and make sure you don't miss any more videos, click that button right there.